Hi. Hello, and welcome to a susceptibility test for the Enchanting Cheshire's Whitenoise inductions. This is a practiced demo that I do on a lot of people, and I've done it to so many people that I have learned how to do it off by heart. And it is so instrumental that this demo kind of does something for someone that I have just decided to make it a video file for anyone to be able to listen to and kind of play along to see if they are actually susceptible to what I pretty much specialize in when it comes to hypnosis. So, like any actual conversation, this specific demo is meant to be kind of out of nowhere and brought up in the middle of a conversation, so very quickly I really just need you to kind of play along if you're watching this video. And the entire point of playing along is to kind of allow yourself to relax. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I was actually told that you specifically were looking to come say hi to me. Is that true? Well, that's absolutely perfect. I was actually looking for someone to kind of practice on, and would you be kind of so inclined to let me do my kind of confusion induction demo with you? You would? That is absolutely superb. Thank you so much. Essentially, as all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to kind of talk to you. And the entire point of me talking to you is that is pretty much exactly the only thing I'm going to be doing, which is why you, as you're watching this file, that's all you exactly kind of need to do. It doesn't really matter what you focus on in this video. What matters is that you kind of give your full attention to me. And the reason for that is I'm just going to be talking to you. The entire point of what's going to be going on is I'm going to kind of lower my voice a little bit and kind of make it a little bit easier to kind of listen to, because God knows I'm a little bit abrasive and I can be very loud for people to kind of listen to. But the entire point of what's going on is I just want you to kind of have your full attention on me. The entire point of what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be talking to you in a kind of lower tone of voice to make it easier for you to listen to me, and I'm going to be treating your mind like a computer. Now, this might not make a lot of sense, but the entire point of what's going to be going on is I'm going to be sitting here and I'm going to be talking to you as if I was trying to lower my voice a little bit to make it a little bit easier to kind of listen to, and I'm going to kind of pick up my tone of voice, and not really tone of voice, but kind of the tempo of my voice. And the reason for that is I actually very much understand that the human mind has a very, very hard time kind of paying attention to things, and almost like, a goldfish, we kind of lose our, trains of thought very, very quickly. So I'm going to kind of make it very easy to listen to me while also kind of picking up the pace of what I am saying to kind of allow your mind to really have something to really focus on, because the entire point of what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be treating your mind like a computer. And the entire reason why I'm going to be doing that is I kind of want to kind of talk to you in a kind of way that can kind of allow you to relax, because I understand that you yourself may be an individual that kind of has a very hard time listening. But the entire point of what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be treating your mind like the RAM inside of a computer. Like all computer parts, every single computer has a lot of components to it, and specifically your mind is no exception. Your brain is the computer inside of a computer. That might not make a lot of sense, but that's not really the entire point. The entire point is that I'm going to be trying to kind of talk to you in a very nice way to kind of allow you to kind of really listen to me. And the entire point of what's going to be going on is I'm going to kind of pick up the pace of what I'm saying to kind of treat your brain like the RAM inside of a computer. Now, this might not make a lot of sense, but the entire point is that at any point in time, I'm going to be feeding you information. Whether this information is important or not, the entire point of what's going to be going on is I'm going to be talking to you in a kind of quick succession way to kind of allow your mind to kind of process information. Now, this information doesn't exactly matter if it's unimportant or not, whether it's repeated or something that's completely new. The entire point of what's going on is I need your mind to kind of understand and take in that information. Now, the entire point of what's going to be going on is I'm just going to be talking to you. That's the entire point of what's kind of going on right now, because the entire point of what's going on is I'm going to kind of lower my voice and kind of speed it up to kind of make it easier to listen to, while also at the exact same time making it very, very easy to be kind of ear-catching, attention-grabbing, because the entire point of what's going on is I need your full attention. Now, as I'm getting your full attention, I'm going to try and treat your mind like the RAM inside of a computer, and as we're treating your mind kind of like a computer, we're going to kind of focus on one specific part of that computer, and that computer part is going to be the RAM inside of a computer. The entire point of what's going to be going on is I'm going to be kind of feeding you information to kind of allow your mind to kind of, at any point in time, process the information that I'm giving you. Because at any point in time, I need you to kind of be taking in information. Now, this information exactly does not matter if it's repeated, important, or not. The entire point is that I have your full attention, and you are taking in as much information from what I am saying as humanly possible. And we actually eventually get to a point where when you're processing something, and as I'm giving you information and your mind has to sit there and process that information, as you're processing that information, I need to kind of sit here and kind of get you to process something else. So eventually we get into this feedback loop where when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. So when I try to get you to process something. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. Trying to get you to process something. So when you're processing something, I try to get you to process something. So when eventually we get to a point where our minds no longer process anything, and this is the exact moment in time that we sing. Just like that. Gone at a moment's notice. Relaxed, our minds no longer really able to think anymore because we've stopped processing that information. That is what has happened. In a few but moments, you're going to wake up. But not before I snap my finger one more time. Before then, I want to tell you a little secret, and specifically a little story. A very, very slight kind of experiment, if you will. If you truly are susceptible to this specific kind of induction, on the count of 3, you're going to drop twice as deep. Now, you might not understand what that means, but essentially, that feeling you have right now, on the count of 3, will double. 3, 2, 1. Just tiny little finger snaps are all we really need to drop ourselves back to where we are. A tiny little finger snap is all we need to allow our mind to very quickly flush itself. Empty your mind whenever you hear a finger snap. Make your train of thought disappear and immediately come back. A very quick reset button every time you hear that finger snap. Good. Now, as I said before, you're going to wake up. 3, 2,